Good evening, friends. After a long time, I'm just talking to you through this video. This is a journey with respect to disclosure obligations of listed entities relating to related party transactions. I'm not going to speak about the actual specific requirements of the related party transactions disclosures and compliances introduced recently by SEBI. I'm just going to talk about a peculiar thing that has come to my notice, and it will be interesting probably because I am interested in this subject called related party transactions, as you know, because I have been the author of a book, a special book on related party transactions, loans, guarantees, securities, and also the managerial personnel, including KMPs. So whenever anything is about RPT or managing directors, whole-time directors, or C-suite executives, or it is about loans, transactions, guarantees, etc., I always take interest, and you may be aware of that. Back to the topic, 7th January 2022 to 7th September 2021. We are going to just look at it between these two dates. The first one was, of course, the latest one, that is 7th January 2022. The SEBI issued a circular, and this topic is same, disclosure of listed entities, disclosure obligations relating to related party transactions. Now, 7th January 2022 refers to 7th September 2021. Because 7th September 2021 is very important. It is because the LODR, particularly 1A of Regulation 15 was introduced to say that the corporate governance specific requirements between 15 to 27. 15 is applicable and 16 to 27, they are applicable to high value debt listed entities, meaning thereby at the end of the year or at any point of time, suppose a company has listed its non-convertible debt securities and the outstanding value is 500 crore and above. In that case, it is treated as a high value debt listed entity. For the first time, you have to find out whether it is a high value debt listed entity as on 31st March 2021. Afterwards, at any time, if it touches, you got 6 months to comply with it. Basically, this 15(1)A was introduced to say that these regulations from we can say 17 to 27 practically. Other things are applicability and definition. So 17 to 27, these 11 regulations will apply to high value debt listed securities also. But you must be aware that SEBI has introduced an explanation that this will be on a comply or explain basis until 31st March 2023. In fact, we people will have a tendency to think that comply or explain means we don't need to comply. It is not so. It is more difficult than simply saying comply with it. Because comply or explain, you have to say why you are unable to comply with it. For every quarter in your annual quarterly compliances, how are you going to keep on telling SEBI for next 4 quarters, I believe, because 31st March 2023, so whole of 22 financial year, calendar year, everything is going to be there. December 31st, 2021 itself is going to be a quarter for falling within the meaning of these regulations, and it says it is compulsory from 31st March 2023. Until then, it is comply or explain. Now, what are these requirements and you are not able to comply with it, you go to explain it. Coming back to related party transactions, what is the great difficulty in ensuring compliance? Okay, first quarter, you have to have an EGM, audit committee, independent directors, and so on and so forth. So we may not find a difficulty in achieving full-fledged compliance in relation to at least regulation 23 aspects which are covered by the applicable regulations for these high value debt listed securities. 7th January 22 is all about high value debt listed securities, high value debt listed entities. We can say high value debt securities listed entities. And 7th January 22 says, you just remember the circular says, there was 7th September 2021 that made certain provisions of LODR, that is listing regulations applicable to high values debt securities listed entities. There was the 9th November 2021 amendment, 6th amendment to LODR, and that had brought a new amendment to the regulation 23. All of us are aware the 1,000 crore new threshold was introduced for materiality determination. Regulation 23 amendment was the subject matter of circular of SEBI. Besides the amendment on that day, the circular of SEBI on that day, that is 9/11, you can remember, 2021, it said certain things have to be disclosed. It said you must give an information that is to be reviewed by the audit committee for approval of RPT. You must provide certain information to the shareholders specifically for consideration when they are looking at transactions for approval. Then you have a format for reporting about RPT to stock exchange. These are all the things which specifically 9/11 brought. Now, 9/11 is applicable to specified securities listed companies or listed entities. Whether it is applicable also to high value debt securities listed entities, probably the lawmaker or regulator would have thought about that in January. Therefore, 7th January 2022 came in to clarify that 9/11/2021, all those circular requirements, the three requirements, that is information to be reviewed by audit committee, the information to be furnished to shareholders, and the format of reporting on RPTs to stock exchange, all these three things are applicable to not only listed entities with specified securities, but also to listed entities having the high value debt securities, non-convertible debt securities listed. So that is a simple point. 7th January 2022 is all about that. But the question is, when regulation 15(1)(a) itself says 17 to 27 will apply, and it will apply on comply or explain basis up to 31st March 2023, and thereafter it is compulsory, anything that you give under 17 to 23 will automatically apply. Only thing, it is postponed to 31st March 2023 tak, it is comply or explain, afterwards it is compulsory. Therefore, there is no need for a clarification of this nature. See, second point is, you take 9/11. 9/11/2021 introduced these three things with effect from 1st April 2022, which is yet to come another 3 months, 2.5 months. 6th amendment to LODR itself is effective from 1st April 2022. 1st January 2022, the only requirement is about the independent directors alone have to approve the RPTs placed before our audit committee. All other things are 1st April 2022 only. Therefore, anything we talk about high value debt securities listed entities, number one, remember, it is already in force. Regulation 23 related amendments of 9/11, circular requirements of 9/11 are all effective from 1st April 2022 only. But even in respect of that also, it is comply or explain only for high value debt securities listed entities. Therefore, we may not be able to understand what does it mean when the circular of 7th January 2022 says this circular comes into force with immediate effect. When the circular it refers is 9/11, and 9/11 itself says it comes into force only from 1st April 2022. Therefore, the point probably the SEBI says is always applicable. From 9/11 itself, it is applicable only. Even without 7th January, it is applicable only, because 15(1)(a) itself has made it clear 17 to 27 is applicable. 23 is forming part of 17 to 27 only. Therefore, let us all understand that all these requirements of 9/11 or whatever amendments that have happened, 17 to 27 of LODR, called the listing regulations, apply to all the high value debt securities listed entities. Also, comply or explain is not an easy thing. To comply is the easy thing. To explain is the most difficult thing. With respect to 7th January 22 specifically, though the words say it is coming into force with immediate effect, I do not know why such words have to be first of all given, because I do not know why this circular is needed at all. So therefore, we have to understand that this is a clarification, because some of us might have an interpretation issue, because original was 7 September, amendment to regulation 23 and circular are all on 9/11. So when 7 September was introduced, 9/11 was not there. Therefore, SEBI would have given this clarification. Thank you.